Hello and welcome to Inside Music, episode number 221. As always, I'm your host, James Shotwell, and it is great to be with you again. My guest this week is none other than Joey Varela of the band VRSTY from Spinefarm Records. And if you're not familiar with VRSTY just yet, it is time to catch up with the rest of us, because let me tell you, VRSTY is going to be everywhere in 2021. The band's latest EP, Cloud City, arrived in the beginning of December, and Joey is here to talk about it today. We also talk about his songwriting process, finding bandmates, and surviving the pandemic. Of course, that's something we've all gotten used to this year. Before we get to the episode, I need to tell you a few quick things. First and foremost, this episode of Inside Music, like every episode of the show, is brought to you by Holix, the music industry's leading digital promotional distribution platform. What that means is that Holix helps record labels, publicists, and independent artists share new and unreleased music without fear of piracy. To learn more, visit Holix.com. That's Haulix.com. Go there, sign up, and you'll get your first month free, courtesy of your friends here at Inside Music. I also want to mention our other podcast, High Notes, just debuted season 2, so please check that out, and also find us on YouTube. Our channel is called Music Biz. That's Music B-I-Z. Check us out, but for right now, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Inside Music. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. Can't complain. It's snowing, so I'm definitely staying home and drinking a lot of coffee.
Snowing, where are you?
I'm in New York City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this the first snow of the year for you?
This is the very first snow of the year for me.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
No problem. I live in Michigan, so we had one day where it snowed and it kind of seemed like, oh no, we're headed towards winter in a big way. But then it melted and it has not snowed again.
Isn't that kind of scary though? Because I know like you said, you're in Michigan now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So isn't that like kind of scary, like to live in like I know like for us as well, and maybe same for you since you live in Michigan, to see the snow come down and instantly think like, oh no, we're gonna have a storm, because that's what we're normally used to, and then it does not happen. It's like the strangest thing.
I know. I have to go to Minnesota next week for work, and I was talking to somebody there just a little bit ago, and they were telling me that it was like 55 degrees, and I looked at and I was like, oh, that's good. That's exciting. It's also probably not good, but it seems good. And I was looking at the weather for next week, and it was like high of 30, low of 20, and I was like, there we go. I'll get there just in time.
Just in time to freeze to death.
Exactly. Well, man, I'm excited to chat with you today because, I heard the Cloud City EP last week from Spinefarm, and I was a fan. And, I was talking to your team and everybody, there's a thing, I don't know how often you've dealt with publicists, but you can often tell when you talk to one whether or not they actually care about the thing that they're promoting. I mean, yes, it's like saying parents love all their children equally, but that's not true. They have favorites. And everyone associated with your band seems to really believe in it in like a real way.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy, right? You wouldn't think they would, because we're such a tiny band, and the way the industry is these days, you don't know who to actually believe, but these guys seem to be on it.
Yeah, they are on it, and they legitimately care. And I text with some of them, and one of them texted me and was just like, it's really good, isn't it? Like not just like this is great, but like it is legitimately good, right? Like, yeah, you get it.
Dude, when we first signed, I got text messages like that, and like people actually like from the label hit me up and were like, dude, it was like, we pick up a lot of bands, and I just want to say like this is actually good. Like I don't have to lie and say it's good, and and just to make you feel good, like this is actually good. And I'm like, well, I appreciate the honesty, man. Like I really do.
It's it's weird to be in the industry like that, but also I guess it's endearing for you at least, right? Because you're like, oh, they really feel this way. But now every time in the future, if you guys move on to another label, you're going to be asking yourself, you're like, where are those text messages? Does the new label feel the same way?
It is weird, man, and I guess I'll just have to see like how things go. You know, when those text messages stop coming in, then I'll know like, all right, well, my time is running out here.
Yeah, when you guys get ready to do a full length or something, and you don't get the same type of text messages, where like this material is so good, man. It's time to start writing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that might happen soon.
Well, let's for people that haven't heard of your band before, can you give us like a quick Marvel origin story of the group and like how you came to be with Spinefarm?
Yeah, sick. All right, so we're a band called VRSTY from New York City. I started this band maybe 5 years ago by myself. Started a solo project. I wrote and recorded all of the music and also sang over it. And then I found a couple of friends to play the instruments and I put them on Spotify. And someone at Spinefarm heard it, liked it, and wanted to sign us. Here we are.
I love that. Simple, to the point.
Uh,
Listen, there's a lot of music that gets put out there into the world that dreams, or not even dreams, but people go into it thinking that as soon as they click upload, everything's going to change. And for you, it actually happened. Somebody actually heard it and reached out.
Yeah, it's insane. It's absolutely insane because I didn't think that was a real thing until I got the phone call. And even then, I thought it was a lie.
Like, what kind of scam is this?
Yeah, I honestly thought it was a lie. I told my manager, like, dude, you got to stop. Like this, there's no way this is true.
And then here we are talking about the Cloud City EP.
Yeah, here we are.
So how did you go about finding the rest of the band? Because you're a quartet now, right?
Yeah. So I always write the music here at home and record it at home. I never mix and master, but the guys who are in the band now are just friends of mine who also liked what I was doing. And I asked no one was actually supposed to be official in this band, which is what's crazy about it. Because I've had different members through the past and like I had fiddle members and stuff like that. My bassist is one of my best friends. Like I pretty much grew up with him and he loved the music, decided he wanted to join. My guitarist was only supposed to do he was supposed to do some touring gigs with us as a fill-in because I had no guitarist and he ended up loving it and joined. My drummer was out of a band and we were supposed to go on tour and he auditioned for us on a Monday and then on Friday we were touring. He just jumped right into it and it's just I don't know, man. It's weird because they were all like friends and people that I kind of knew and I didn't think they liked the music until like I reached out and was like, hey man, I got these opportunities and they pretty much like, yeah, dude, we were waiting for you to let us know we want to do this.
Sounds splendid. It came together very nicely.
Yeah. The most random thing ever.
I kind of love that you don't seem to have any like crazy industry horror stories just yet.
We don't have any like horror stories. We've been around a bit, so the band is obviously not new. We've been around for 5 years. We've toured DIY for about I want to say 5 of those years up until now because of COVID. We haven't released anything under a label up until now, but we have been associated with other labels that I have completely just been like, well, I don't like this, I'm leaving, kind of thing.
Oh. That is another one of those sad realities of the music business, right? Sometimes you don't even know until it's way too late to be like, oh, this isn't going to be what I hoped it would be, and now I just have to wait it out.
Yeah, I'm one of those people where I have this. I guess it's also kind of stubborn, and I don't want to say I'm hard to work with, but I guess it kind of would make me hard to work with. I have this vision for where I want to be, and I have this thing where I'm like, well, if you can't do that for me, I'm going to get myself there one way or another, period. And that's always how it's been with me. And so it just, working with some people works well because like my manager now has been my manager for a couple of years and he loves working with me because he knows if he ever doesn't have something for me, that I'm going to do whatever I need to get, work done or just find an opportunity and stuff like that. But the industry is kind of a scary place. So.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
Yeah, very lightly.
Well, man, what's it been like? This is something that I'm always curious about. This release is getting a lot of hype with people that have heard it in the industry, but you've had an uphill battle because, as you just said, it's been a weird year. There hasn't been touring, something that you guys have always done pretty fiercely. So, what has it been like trying to figure out how to promote a new record without being able to get out there and shove it in people's faces live?
Um, it's been scary, but I learned that the most important thing you can do is completely stop caring. And by that I don't mean stop caring about the music, but in terms of like how you promote it, because there's so many things when touring was available that you could do. But with COVID now, there's actually so many more things you can do. Like COVID being around forced me to find out like, okay, like how can I do live streams? How can I do all these like different internet things and use these different apps to further promote my band? And it was a matter of, all right, I got to stop caring about when touring is going to come back and just start putting this out there and just finding new ways to kind of get in front of people.
Mm. And what did you find worked best for you? Because what I've learned is that this has been the year where everyone was like, we might as well throw everything at the wall and see what sticks. But in the world of Varsity, what has been the thing or the couple of things that you found really worked well with gaining momentum and traction for your music?
So I decided this year I just wanted to, because I was at home, I was just gonna connect more with like fans and stuff like that. But even on more than just like a oh yeah, I talk to you online kind of level. I have like chat rooms and stuff where like I play video games with people, and fans have like my phone number now so they can text me like if they ever have like questions about like certain things that they want to do but they don't know how to do it. And I've been more open with like fans and stuff like that. And I noticed when we just put out music videos and things, people are more receptive to it because now they're like, oh, those are my friends. I speak to them on a deeper level than they're just band guys. And that helped this band tremendously over this period.
I think you're absolutely right. There's really there's nothing better than when a person feels like your success is somehow reflective of their personal contributions or that it is a success of their own. Like they want to see you succeed because they'll feel like they've done something more.
Yeah, man, it's like it's super important when it comes to that because you never know.
Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I've bet on plenty of artists who never paid off, but you see, it's fine. It's just the gamble of how it goes, and it's easier. I think it means more too because I love I love supporting gigantic artists as well. But whether or not Dua Lipa has another 8 million streams today doesn't really make me feel like I've accomplished anything as a fan. But if one of my favorite bands suddenly breaks 100,000 followers on Spotify or something, that feels like a real success.
I mean, yeah, it's it's honestly I agree with all of it. Like it's the truth. Like I also like have this really crazy thing where I follow local bands a lot, like a lot. From all the touring I've done, there's been local bands that I've seen that are absolutely incredible. And I like following their success. So like you said, like, Dua Lipa puts out a song, she makes a million streams. I'm like, yeah, that's typical. But like a local band puts out something and makes like a couple of thousand, and I'm like, I'm super excited for this band. Like I want to see where they go next, how they spin this into like a positive light, where do they go with this kind of thing.
Mhm.
It's just,
Yeah.
my brain is always firing and I don't know how to turn it off. It's unfortunate.
No, it's a good thing. Like, I'm a huge fan of Bad Bunny, but I was on Spotify earlier today and he has the number one song in America. And it said that his daily streams were like 8.5 million for just that song. And I was like, I can't even wrap my head around that kind of success because, like you, all of my friends are in bands that would kill for one track to break 1 million streams, let alone 8.5 in a day.
Yeah. It's insane, man. Like I agree entirely. Like there's been times where I've thought like, oh man, that I would kill for that kind of thing. But then also I'm like, I guess it'll happen when it does, if it's meant to.
That is true. Well, let me ask you this. You talked about how you write all the music for the band and you seem to be a very creative person, but what has this year been like in terms of the battle to remain, I guess, creative during, the chaos? I'm just gesturing towards everything.
Honestly, I want to give you a cool answer, but the honest answer is it hasn't been that hard. And it's because I've been home for so long that it's forced me to listen to everything. All I do now is listen to music from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. And I think listening to like a bunch of different things that I wouldn't normally listen to if, COVID wasn't around, because, I'd be on tour or I'd be like at work or doing something else, really inspired me to like step outside of my comfort zone and try different things. So it's like it hasn't it hasn't actually been too hard to be creative. It's been more so hard of how do I make this work for me, you know?
Mm. How much have you created lately that you love though? Because my thing is like I agree. I work from home full time. I've gotten used to
Yeah.
just like my life hasn't changed that much aside from going to shows,
Yeah.
kind of like yours. So in terms of just generally remaining creative, yes. But I found the further along the year goes, I don't know if it's that my bar for quality is getting too high or that I'm increasingly frustrated where I'm like, if I can churn it out every day, then it's not worth putting out.
Gotcha. Yeah, all right. So I write a bunch of stuff. The EP was great. After that, we wrote an album. We wrote, I want to say about 26 songs, and we kept 12. And then I came home, and since I've been home, I wrote about like another 30 something, and I only like about two. So I write a lot of stuff that I hate, and then like a very few little bit that I like. I think my bar for like what I want to put out though has just been way higher now, and it's because of all the stuff that's happened, and I like second guess everything, and I drive myself insanely mad about what I'm gonna put out into the world now.
Well, I think it's also you're in an interesting predicament where I think if you fall into a very specific genre, maybe it's a little bit easier to sift out what to put out because you're like, well, our fans will like this thing. But if I can even quote the promo for your record, it said something along the lines of, if Justin Timberlake fronted Killswitch Engage, you would have this band. And it's like, okay, how can anyone other like you always have to be your own hardest critic, but when you exist
Yeah.
in a realm where it's like you don't have a peer group necessarily, it's hard. I imagine it's even harder to be like, this is the thing that we should put out.
It is harder, and that question also always arises like, hey, what should we put out? But I've learned to just put out whatever I love, man. Like there's no plan for what I write. So just to kind of walk you through it, I wake up in the morning, I'll write a random guitar riff, and if I like it, I'll sing a random melody over it. Like I'm also a freestyle singer, so I don't write my melodies down. I just sing them, and it's like that kind of random dynamic works for me, and I just have to stop worrying about like, oh, where do we fit? Where do we this? I kind of love it, and I hope other people love it. And so here is here's the song that I just randomly put together.
I love it, man. Well, you've touched about it a couple of times now. Are you trying to let me know that there is a lot more material from Varsity coming in the new year?
I don't know if I'm trying to let you know as much as I'm just saying it. Like, we have like a bunch of stuff. Like I have no intentions of slowing down, especially now with the way things are. The only thing you can do is put out music. And so it gives me a good excuse to put out as much music as I possibly can. So I'm just constantly writing and recording, ready for the next thing.
Well, that's great to hear, man. And it's hard to kind of talk about the future right now. I know for a lot of artists, because it's like like the big thing on Twitter today is everyone giving their 2 cents about like what they think about when live music might return or what that might look like.
Mhm, mhm,
So,
mhm.
as an artist, I know that you're looking at the new year and talking amongst your team about like, here's what we want to do, here's what we hope to do, so on and so forth. So, the EP's under your belt now. What are your immediate goals for the future?
So obviously I would love to tour because every band wants to tour. But I'm really I kind of pulled from the whole touring thing recently, and I got really into like film, and I want to learn how to make short movies. So like instead of having just like regular music videos, I want to film short films for my music videos, and that's like my immediate goal for the future. Like how do I make this work and how do I get this out? That's like the thing I'm most focused on, and then touring right after.
Okay. Okay. No, I think that those are good answers, man. I appreciate your honesty. I think you'll be able to play somewhat. I mean, the team at Live Nation, for whatever good or bad you want to say, they're telling their shareholders we'll be at scale, at least in some capacity, by summer.
Mhm.
And I've heard a lot of people talking about venues, indoor venues trying to do something intimate by like May, which I feel like is
Mhm.
relatively believable. It's all about It's weird because it's like this year has made everyone in the music industry an expert in how like vaccines work and everything else. Like we were expected to be way more knowledgeable than any other career field. Like now you can't only be an entertainer. You also have to have a firm grasp.
Yeah, we're all entertainers and scientists now. We know everything.
Yeah. No other field is like that. I mean, in sports, they like figured it out. But when you talk to entertainers or anybody working in music, they're always like, so when does live music come back? It's like, I don't know, man. When does global warming take all of us out? I don't have these answers.
Yeah. It's so true.
It's such a weird discourse. Like earlier today, I saw like a tweet that had several thousand retweets from somebody about their live music opening like outlook for 2021, and they had like 5 points starting late spring through December. And I was like, this is really insightful. And I clicked on it, and it was like contributor to Pitchfork, and I was like, come on, man! Like, what do you and I know the same amount of stuff about this topic? Because there's nothing to be said. We're just filling space. That's fine. That's fine. Listen, man, I want to know this because there will be people that hear the show that have maybe never checked out the band before. And Cloud City EP out now. There's 7 songs. Yeah, 7 songs they can go and listen to. Well, 6 with a remix. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Also counts. Yeah. What do you wish everyone could know going into this record?
That's a super hard question. Wow, you're the first person to ever stump me with a question, and I love it. I absolutely love this. Honestly, if there's one thing that I just want people to know, this is probably one of the realest records that I've written probably in my entire life. I've written a bunch of music. I literally wrote that at home, just sad as hell because my life was like going to hell. And then I brought the songs to like a studio and we like got them done, but I tried to keep it I definitely tried to keep it as real as possible because, times are rough, man. Like I can write a song about, oh, everything is going to get better and, things change, but will it? Like, do things really change? Like, are things going to change? Like, there's this whole uncertainty with everything that goes on. And that's literally what I wanted to convey in the record. Like, here's a bunch of situations where I've been in them. Maybe you've been in them. It's real to me. Hopefully it's real to you. And there's just a certain uncertainty that goes behind every last one of these songs. Like, yeah, maybe you relate to the song and maybe things will get better, but maybe it doesn't. I don't know. That's probably really sad, but hey, that's life. And that's what I want you to get out of the record. That's life.
Yeah, I know. That's good. In 2020, we're stopping the idea that everything's okay if you look at it from the right perspective. It's no, it's hard. It's hard and you die.
It's hard. Yeah, life sucks and then you die. And that's the unfortunate truth, man. Like, nothing is ever sunshines and rainbows.
To quote the talking horse that is BoJack Horseman, sometimes life sucks and then you keep living. That's just
oh my God, that show kills me. I must have watched the whole thing like 4 times already. I should stop, but I can't stop myself.
Yeah, the exact quote is "Life's a bitch and then you keep living." But that's yeah, that's it. I mean, that's what else is there to say, really?
Yeah, it's the truth. This is the reality we're living in. It's unfortunate, but hey, we got to live with it somehow, right?
Exactly. Well, Joey, this has been a lot of fun. It's been painless. Sometimes I don't know how we're ever going to get past 10 minutes. You made time fly for me today. I appreciate it. One more plug. Cloud City is out right now. Can you tell everyone where to find the band online? Like what social channels you prefer, all that jazz?
Sure. So band is called VRSTY. That's VRSTY because we're from New York and we don't use vowels out here. You can find us on any of your favorite social websites. We mostly use Instagram. If you want to listen to Cloud City, you can find it on literally any streaming platform you'd like. If you hate streaming platforms because they don't pay artists, there's this really nice website called Kingdom Leaks where you can just steal it from and, listen to it.
Well, there you go. Thank you again, Joey, so much. I'll let you get back to enjoying your wintry day in New York City, and hopefully we'll connect again in 2021.
Sounds good, man. Thank you very much.